Thank you for joining us here at DT Dining, where I have a special fall episode for you where I'll be showing you my take on Thanksgiving dinner for two, or possibly three. Not a lot of food, maybe you don't have a big crowd to feed. Well, let's cook something. First, we're going to get us a baking sheet. We're going to cover it with foil so that we can prepare our turkey breast to get seasoned on. And we're going to wash us off 2 turkey breasts, and we're going to place those on the cooking sheet. Next, I'm going to get my seasonings together, in which it is that I like to use seasoning salt, black pepper, onion powder, and a little bit of garlic powder. Now, after seasoning your turkey breast, we're going to grab us a pair of handy dandy tongs, and we are going to flip those over and repeat the process on the other side. Then after we get them all seasoned up, we're going to put this back in the refrigerator to chill until we get ready to cook them later on. Now we're going to grab us a skillet, and we're going to place that on medium to low heat. We're going to add a tablespoon of butter and let that start to melt. At that time, we're also going to prepare our water for our macaroni noodles for our mac and cheese. Once we get the water, I'll put it on the stove. I'll turn that all the way up to high so that we can boil it. I will also add to that 1.5 tablespoons of butter, salt, and a little bit of chicken stock to the water so the noodles have flavor. Now, after you do this, your butter should be melted, so you want to give your skillet a good shake so that you can coat the bottom of the pan with the butter. And at this time, I'm also going to chop 1 onion, a half a red pepper, and mince a clove of garlic. We're going to put those together, and then we're going to add those to the pan for a light saute. Remember, every once in a while, you're going to give those a stir until they're transparent and golden brown. At that point, after they're all nice and golden brown and sauteed up, we're going to get us an extra bowl, and we're going to remove them from the eye and put them in the pan so that they can stop cooking, so that we can add them to our collard greens later on. Now let me note. Now I'm also going to grab me some bacon, some thick sliced applewood bacon, 4 strips. I'm going to cut up and add those to the pan to saute. You can use any pork you like. You can use any bacon you like. You can use a ham hock. You can use ham. If you don't do pork, you can also use just smoked turkey pieces, all of which will be great. You want to make sure you stir your bacon occasionally so it doesn't stick to the pan. There are some things that I did off camera that I will be addressing once we get to that part of the video. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough kitchen space to show you everything that was going on. Alright, at this point I'm going to start our cornbread for our dressing. I'm going to get us 1 box of Jiffy, and we're going to add to that 1 egg and 1/3 cup of milk. After we add our ingredients to the bowl, we're going to get us a whisk, and then we are going to whisk the contents of the bowl until they are smooth. Just like that. We're now going to get us a square baking sheet for our cornbread. We're also going to spray that with cooking spray. You can use any cooking spray that you normally use, that you like. And we're going to add our cornbread mixture to that. We're going to set our oven at 350 degrees. And now we're going to add our cornbread. Just set the oven so that we get us a nice preheat so our oven can reach temperature. And give it a little shake, evenly distribute, and in the oven it goes. This time our water is boiling, our bacon is looking really nice. We're rendering out a lot of fat from it. Now I am going to cook it down, but I'm not going to cook it to completion because I don't want crispy pieces of bacon in the collard greens. So now I'm going to get me a nice little grease tray that I keep next to my stove for my bacon grease. And I'm going to drain out about 3/4 of the bacon grease. I am going to keep some in there. I do want flavor for the collard greens. So we're going to drain a lot of that out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to get us a pressure cooker bowl. See, I like to use a pressure cooker for my greens. It is the quickest way to cook for me. Like I said, my kitchen is rather small. So what I've done is I've got 2 bushels of collard greens that I have stemmed, cut, and cleaned. So now we're going to add those to the pressure cooker pot. Going to add our bacon that we sauteed to that. Get all of those great scrapings out for flavor. We're going to also add our vegetables that we sauteed earlier. At this time, I also like to point out that one of the things that I did do off camera was I added my noodles to my water because it was boiling. Shame on me. But yeah, so my noodles are actually boiling as we speak right now. I'm also going to season my greens. I'm going to use the same seasonings that I seasoned the chicken breast with, which is seasoning salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. After which I'm going to add between 6 and 8 cups of water to the pressure cooker bowl, just enough for you to see the water part way up the bowl, not full. Then after which I'm going to add 2 cups of chicken stock. Give everything a nice stir, get it incorporated in the pot nicely so we can season up really nicely later on. All those flavors are in there partying together and make it nice. I'm going to give my noodles a stir and check them and see if they're ready, and they are. So I'm going to drain my noodles, and then I'm going to place them back in the pot, and then I'm going to get started on my macaroni and cheese, in which it is that I cube a Velveeta block because I enjoy the smooth creaminess of the Velveeta. I think it helps everything meld together rather well, in which it is. And I'm also add half a stick of butter to this. I'm going to give that a nice stir so that the butter melts and the cheese starts to break down. Then I'm going to come and I'm going to add me a cup of milk, followed by mozzarella and some Kobe Jack. And then I turn the oven back on very, very low heat just so things can start melting. Also get me another glass baking pan to put the macaroni and cheese in after we get done melting all the cheese and getting it ready to be baked. Now everything seems to be melted, and I like to fold my noodles somewhat gently so that everything incorporates. As you can't tell, I'm very heavy-handed, so if I stir, then I'll end up with a bowl of mush because the noodles will break down. So I just kind of fold everything. And now we're ready to put it in the pot. So in goes our macaroni, scrape down the sides, make sure you get all that deliciousness in the bowl. Pat it out, make sure it's nice and flat, and then I come back with some Kobe Jack on top for baking later. And then I'm going to take that and sit that off to the side so that when I get finished with our dressing, they can go in the oven at the same time. Everything can be hot together. Now, preparing our dressing, you want to get a skillet and you want to start to saute your sausage, in which it is that I like to use half maple sausage, half regular sausage. I usually try to stick to even portions of both, in which cases 4 patties of maple and a half of regular sausage. And I get those mixed in together so they can cook evenly and everybody's happy. We're going to take our cornbread out the oven. It is beautiful. We're going to sit it on the top of the oven for cooling so that we can use it later for our dressing. At this point, I'm going to prepare our vegetables for our dressing, in which it is 1 chopped onion, 2 stalks of celery, cleaned and chopped. And I add the celery to the pot, and followed by my onions. Then I'm going to add a cup of chicken stock. And I had to go make the chicken stock. So now I add a cup of chicken stock, and I am going to put this on medium-low heat, and I'm just going to let it get a nice boil. So now we get us a nice bowl. Our cornbread is cooled off. Sausage is looking mighty fine. So now we're just going to dump our cornbread in our bowl, and we are going to mix it up. As soon as I find what I'm looking for, there we go. So we're going to take the spatula and we're going to mix the corn. We're going to mush the cornbread around and break it down, and then to which I will add my sausage mixture, which we've cooked up nicely. Everything is nice and brown. We'll add the sausage to the dressing. Now our celery and onions have reached a boil, so we'll take those off. Now we'll put those in the blender. And now, before you blend anything, make sure that it has cooled off, because blending something that is fresh off the stove is not a good idea. It will come out of the blender, be all over the place, and it is just horrible. Now I add my blended mixture to my dressing, and it is time to mix the dressing up. Nice spatula to mix everything around. Make sure everything is good and incorporated. Now add an egg. And I like to just go by 1 egg per box of cornbread you use. That always is a great ratio. And now we get to add our seasonings, which is poultry seasoning and sage. And we mix everything together. At some point. Maybe today. Oh, there we go. So we mix everything together. We get everything incorporated. Not too rigorous of a stir motion, just kind of fold everything in together. Or maybe you don't need to fold it, maybe it's just me. I'm definitely afraid of throwing dressing all over my kitchen. Alright, now that we've got that together, get us the same pan from the cornbread, and we're just going to put the dressing back in that pan. Now I know for me, it is definitely has to look good, because if it looks good, it tastes good. So I'm just gonna smooth that out, get everything even in the pan. Which I want to take this like off screen in a slow cooker. I do have yams cooking. Now we put our dressing in the oven, followed by macaroni and cheese, so they can both come out at the same time. The recipe for my yams, once again, that I was cooking off camera in a slow cooker, were 2 whole yams, peeled, washed, and then your simple syrup, which is cinnamon, vanilla, butter, and brown sugar, and a cup of water. And I just let that go in the crock pot. So now we have our turkey breast back out. I made some seasoned flour, in which I used the same seasoning, salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder in the flour. And now I'm gonna flour the turkey breast to fry. So now that they're off the sheet, I don't want to reuse that sheet, so I'll get rid of this one, because I think it's just gross. So yep, now we'll get us some new foil. Let's put down on the sheet, our baking sheet, so that we can put our turkey on top of it. And that will go back in the refrigerator to rest for maybe 20 to 30 minutes. In which it is that I will pull them out, shake them in flour one last time, and fry them and deep fry them. Now my deep fryer is off camera as well, so you won't be seeing me actually cooking them, but I will show you what they look like once they're done. Now it looks like our macaroni and cheese is ready to come out the oven. Boy, does that look good. And we're just gonna sit it on top of the oven for it to cool for a minute, get a sniff of that. It's wonderful. And now our dressing. That is gorgeous. And we're gonna also sit that on the top of the oven for it to cool for a while. Then I got me a slice of country ham, because I do like country ham. As you can see, our chicken is magnificently done. Turkey. It is turkey, not chicken. It looks like chicken, but it's turkey. So our turkey has been fried perfectly. I got a piece of country ham, cut it in half, put some butter in a skillet, and I'm pretty much just heating it up. And all right, there you go. There's Thanksgiving for 2. It just looks delicious all the way around. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and you guys have a good one.